Sooner Scoop HD.
All I have for you is, at this time, Matt did resign for personal reasons, and I haven't even thought about replacing it yet. My whole focus is on Sam Houston, so I haven't thought about replacing it at this late time.
Is this something that, obviously as abrupt as it is with the players, is this something you have to address with them, or is it just about keeping focus on the game?
Yeah, we addressed it, that he resigned for personal reasons, and we went right back to focusing in on the game. These guys are excited to play. I tell you, we had our exhibition, we had a scrimmage, and then we've been practicing. So their focus is really the excitement to get going. We had a great tip-off banquet the other night. We talked about it at practice yesterday about competing, and their guys are ready to compete.
You talked last week about Matt Brady and just all he brought to the table.
I said he resigned for personal reasons.
Going with that season over specifically, I mean, just what are some of the challenges that Sam Houston provides?
They're really well coached. That program has been very, very good. Everyone in college basketball knows how good it is. Jason Hooten is an outstanding coach. They really guard you. They're tough as nails, and they run a lot of stuff. And early on, when you know a program runs a lot of stuff, you don't really have a lot of film on them because they played 2 scrimmages. And but I know the program is really good. It's at the foundation of it, and he's won a lot of games there. But I'm anticipating a really, really tough team defensively, and a team that can really execute and run a lot of stuff offensively.
Did you find? I know you mentioned that Bijan had gone out and touched protocol, Dave the exhibition.
Yeah.
Luke as well was recovering from something. I mean, just what are some updates on that?
Bijan's fully cleared. He's been practicing, so he's fully cleared. And Luke went about 30% of the practice yesterday. So I think he'll be available. I anticipate him being available based on having a couple more practices before Monday.
You think you found the starting 5, or is that something that you're going to tinker with throughout the next month?
It's a good question. I think we've been, some of the veterans have been going there, but I really like some of the newcomers. I just, I'm going to. Coach Majerus used to always say, starting 5 is for our high school. We need that bench. We need to be deep. We need that deep. So if whoever's not starting, they need to understand we're counting on everybody to bring what they can bring. And that's the hard part about when you have you feel like you have confidence in a lot of guys. You can only start 5, so it doesn't mean you don't have confidence in the other ones. It just means they got a different role. Their minutes are going to be at a different time of the game, and so that's kind of been our focus on things. But that'll be something as will evolve throughout the year, the starting 5. But we'll see when we start Monday.
Was there anything in the scrimmage in Las Vegas that remained consistent from the exhibition, or something you saw differently you were pleased with?
I'm not allowed to really talk details, but I can kind of say in generalities. I like how this team's playing together. I like how this team wants to get better, and how they. I think there's an energy about this group. I like it, and obviously the thing about college basketball is everybody's excited right now. Everybody's optimism is at a high. The key is to maintain your optimism through the ups and downs of a basketball season. There's going to be ups and downs. Doesn't mean when you have a down that it's all floors dropping out. It means you got to just keep day by day grinding. And I really like this mentality of this team. I just think they work really hard. I think people are going to see a team that's going to play with a lot of energy and play very hard.
Do you think Miles Duzon is a guy that can slot into your starting lineup right away for you?
Oh, Miles is doing great. I really like his defense. I like his length, and he's really, when he's come off the bench, every time he's given us a lift. And I feel very, very good that we got 3 guys that I consider high-level passers. I think Bijan, Milos, and Grant are 3 guys that can. We always talk about starting the domino in our offense, starting the domino of rotations on offense, and So I think Milos, Bijan, and Grant can really pass.
In that group, you've got 2 veteran guards, or guards who've at least done this. What can't Milos know right now and not having played at college basketball?
What can he know?
What can't he know? I mean, he hasn't played it.
Yeah, he hasn't. It's just through experience. Just this level of playing it. But what I do like about it is he did go to a high-level prep school on that grind session, and he's played against a lot of really good players. I mean, heck, his teammate was Shaedon Sharp last year. He went up against Shaedon every day last year. You saw what he's doing right now with Portland. But, I think for anybody, not just Milos, for every freshman around the country, there's a learning curve. It just is. It's just, and especially when you're at elite level like the Big 12, it's just time, experience, getting those minutes under your belt. You can't put a price tag on that, and every freshman in the country will be going through that starting Monday.
Speaking of the generalities, what did you learn about the 3 freshmen from the exhibition and the scrimmage?
I just watching them, I know they're not afraid. I know they physically, Ortega and Milos physically are farther ahead than your normal freshman. Their length, their strength, their athleticism. So I think they just got a confidence about them right now. We've had through the summer and everything. I just think they've been competing, and we're excited to have them.
With those freshmen, what do you kind of look for these first couple games of the season to start off? Is there a balance you have to find between just knowing it may not be perfect, they'll make some mistakes, but getting them big reps?
Freshmen, in my experience, freshmen sometimes, especially when that starts, they hang on to every play too much. Every play seems monumental. They just got to learn to play next play. Stay in the moment, and they're kind of wound up with excitement, wound up like, I got to do something great every play. And you start to learn that, this is the thing that's, the NBA people say college people are too sped up. They go too fast, they're too sped up. We say sometimes high school kids are too sped up. And we also say freshmen are too sped up. You got to let the game come to them. That's the biggest thing for freshmen as you watch them is because their eagerness to get here and finally play and want to do great. And they just got to. Sometimes the best play is simple. It's not you don't have to hit grand slams right out of the gate. And I'm not saying our freshmen are doing that. I'm just saying it's a generality of freshmen a lot when you see them come in. But I'm excited. Our freshmen are going to play.
You put together a starting lineup on Tuesday for Sam Houston. Do you value guys who maybe are more experienced and have been here a while, or is there a chance for some of those freshmen to get into the lineup?
I've never had a set rule. Like, I'm always going to start my veterans, or I'm going to start. It's who I feels at that time is the best mesh to start the game. And if that's some freshmen, it's going to be some freshmen. If some veterans. So I just haven't had I've had many years in my career where I've started freshmen. I've had many years where I've had an older team. It's not a set philosophy on mine. I've always had it, man. If the freshmen are going to earn it, they're going to get what they earn, and if they do. But I can't say it enough. Just because someone doesn't start doesn't mean they're going to not have a huge role. Because I'm counting on a lot of guys to have big roles. You only start 5. I think so many people, especially this team, make such a big deal out of the starting lineup. I can't tell you, that was one of the big conversations I had with Rick Majerus when I worked for him, is how much he didn't value the starting 5. It was just valuing everybody that was going to play. It's just when you're playing. Those happen to be playing at the first 5 minutes.
You and Coach Baranchek have been pretty lock and step. You guys are both hired in the same offseason.
Yeah.
How cool is it you guys get to open back-to-back here? That doesn't get to happen all the time.
I think it's great. I am such a big fan and advocate of Coach Baranchek. I think she does it the right way. I love how they play, and she's got such a positive energy with those women. And I'm looking forward to seeing them play. I went to a ton of games last year. I watched a lot of them on TV, and I'm just a huge fan. And part of our Sooner family, so I think it's kind of cool we get to open with a doubleheader. I hope everyone comes out to see them. I mean, I know it's earlier, but everyone come out and see a great brand of basketball, watching them play.
What will Monday look like for you guys? Will you watch the game, or how does that work? How does that affect your game day?
Yeah, I will say that it probably will affect how much, because normally when I'm not playing, I'm just kind of locked in. I'm watching the whole game, but like it will be. I'll probably have an eye popping in just because my excitement to pop in there, but I do have my own game rate routine, so it'll probably affect what I do, but it shouldn't affect what all the Sooner fans do. They need to get in there and watch them play.
talked all about how different this year is. But you're here, year 2, about to kick it off. How different the shoes you're standing in now versus this time last year?
Just, last year it's all about coming in and getting your so much in. You're teaching your offense, you're teaching defense, you're teaching your culture, you're teaching your staff, the ones that haven't been with you. And it's so much this summer having those guys that were back. I just think all the guys that are back that played last year are more mature, are bigger, stronger, and just logged in. There's not an uncertainty of what it is to play for Oklahoma and me. I've talked a lot about it with Tanner and Jake Groves and Bijan, CJ, and Jalen. Just more of they have more of a sense of what to expect, and that is invaluable.
Talking about Grant and Joe, what kind of role do you think they'll play moving forward? What is their preparedness?
Grant, since he's got here, has stepped right in and had a huge role for us. He's a veteran. He's played at a high level. He's got great ability. My biggest excitement and joy has watched him embrace defense. To see him where he came from to how much he's trying right now. That has been something where I appreciate his mentality to defend. Because I know we need him to score. I know we need him to facilitate pass. So he's going to play a huge role, no doubt. Joe, same thing. Joe's really come in and tried to make an effort defensively. I think Joe's got the physical tools. He's got extremely long arms. He's got a great frame, athletic. Those kind of guys can be elite defenders. And Joe can get baskets. Joe can get baskets quick. He's a great cutter, rebounder. So I'm anticipating him to be a veteran guy, energy, and be able to score the ball.
I want to ask you about CJ. Last year more of a catch and shoot role, but in that exhibition game, really putting the ball in the net, getting to the rim.
Yeah.
Does that just come with a year of experience, kind of learning how to get to your spots more and play to your strengths than before?
CJ has a great burst, like a point A to point B burst, and it's just getting it into the game. I think you saw him get into the game a handful of times at the end of the year, the Bonaventure game, and we saw it this summer. He's got himself in way better condition than his first year. He's a phenomenal student of the game. He studies the game. He looks at the game. He's got a great IQ, and he just physically is getting his athleticism in the game more. And in his athleticism, he's got tremendous quick burst, point A to point B, and he's got confidence with it. I really think you're going to see a lot more of that point A to point B burst from CJ Nolan this year.
Sooner Scoop HD.